a long time coming, ladies. And, of course, this is what we're going to paint. Get all this out of the way. And I can see that I'm delayed on my the actual Facebook. But this is our spring pot. And, as you all know, I sent a video showing how to actually seal these. And I used Mod Podge. And it actually put a really nice gloss on it. So, and I had recommended that you use multi-surface paint, only because this is also sealing, and if you paint it on the outside and you don't reseal it, this will not peel. So that's one reason I had you to get it. But if you only got regular acrylic paint, once you paint this and it dries, then you can go back over it with the Mod Podge again and seal it again over top. It'll dry clear over the top, so you don't have to worry about it covering up your painting, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started because this was quite a bit of work. And we want to just, I'm going to just put that over to the side. I actually probably move it so that I have plenty of room. And, of course, I got my little rocks over here. I have my little rocks. And I just painted the daisy on one side. But I just thought they'd be something cute. So, anyway, as you know, I've got this all sealed. And so I'm going to get my paints out. I've got the multi-surface blue, and this is a fairly dark blue, but I mixed my color to be able to get the colors that I wanted. And you'll see what I'm doing here. Which camera is working? Can y'all see? Okay. Okay, let me adjust this camera. Is this like way too far? Okay. Can y'all see? Let me see. Oh, why it done that?
Recording stopped.
Nah. Okay, can you still hear me? I'm so sorry. Can you still hear me? I don't even know what that noise is. I don't even know what that noise is. Okay, let me do that. So it's saying that it's not going to let me share my camera, which is not good, because if I can't share my camera, I can't do the video. It just keeps giving me an error message. Failed to start the video camera. Hold on just a second. Okay. Okay, ladies, this is not letting me share my video camera. You guys, I can see that my video camera is on, but it's not letting me on this side. It's not letting me go ahead for whatever reason on Zoom. So, but if you guys, you can see me. Crystal, can you see me? One more time, I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to hush. Okay. I'm just going to go for this and see what happens. I think the recording is stopped. No, there it is. Okay. I'm delayed for one thing. Okay, so I got blue. I've got yellow, which I do not need that much. I'm getting white. I didn't have this open. Trash bag in. Okay. Thank you, Miss Kimber. Again, I'm putting a lot of paint out here that I don't necessarily need. Normally, you would only use probably about a quarter, maybe a quarter size petal. Okay. So here we go. I know that takes forever, and I'm hoping you all can see me. I need to make for sure that it's recording on this side, which I don't know that it is. I don't think it is. Let's see.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so I've got it recording on this side. So the only thing that y'all see me do so far, and I'll try my best to edit this somehow, but it's just to get my paint down, okay? And so we're going to just get started. Now, what I used was a number 12 or a number 10 black brush. That's what I'm using. And I've got one that's sort of my favorite. It's just a little bit longer handle. So this is the one I will be using for the stripes. For this right here, the stripes and the pocket. But I'm going to use a large flat brush, which is like 1 inch, to do the actual pot. And what I've done, let me get rid of this. Try to get this over here a little bit. What I have got done is that I've got my paints over here, and because I'm right-handed, currently I'm going to put this paint right here where I can get a hold of it. Now, sometimes too, I've talked about the floating medium to get it to flow a lot easier, especially with canvas or dry surfaces. But since we've already sealed this, it should be pretty, it should have some tooth to it to where it will take the paint pretty good. Now, I'm going to have to mix this, the blue and white, to get the color that I want. And of course, you know, we want it like a blue genie color, so it's not going to take very much blue. Unless you want it the darker blue, and then you could just put some white in it. But I liked the, almost like the cloud blue color. And then I put, if you notice, I put some like dark streaks in it. So anyway, I'm going to just try to mix me up enough to where I've got it. Pick you up some. And this paint, a little goes a long way. I'm sorry, ladies, I'm telling you. That gets on my nerves so much trying to come on Facebook Live, and it doesn't want you to. So it sort of throws me off every time I try to come live. But y'all pray, because I'm thinking about trying to go YouTube live and try to correct some of this. Okay, so I'm going to actually, look, I've got my finger up here in the middle where the pot's at. And it actually makes it easier just to twist it. And so I'm going to start right here at the rim of this the pot. And one thing about it is, if I got my finger in there, I can just spin it around. And if I get some darker blue in there, I'm okay with that, because again, it's supposed to look like denim. And you know, and I know, it never, denim is never the same color all the way through usually. And I'm going to have to, I hope y'all can see, I'm coming back here. Can y'all see what I'm doing? I know I'm delayed. I forget where I'm at with this camera. So I'm constantly coming back here, picking up more paint, and I'm mixing it as I go. I started with a puddle, but these pots take quite a bit. I hope you ladies are with me. Okay, and if it looks like it's got some streaks and stuff in it, you can just go over really quick. If you need to pick up more paint, you can. Just one more little swap there. Okay, and then I'm going to mix up some more. And I'm going to do this the same way. I'm just going to come right around here, and I'm just going to go all the way around. Sort of mixing it up here at the top to make sure that it doesn't have like rough edges here. Like I said, once you seal it, it really takes that paint well. But it still takes quite a bit. I'm hoping y'all can see everything I'm doing. I'm just constantly coming back, mixing up more paint, and I'm taking it all the way around. Make for sure I've got the, like up underneath the lip here. I'm just sort of going back over that if it looks like it's still got like a few marks, so you can see the pot. I'm just going back over it just a little bit. And this paint that I use, it's really thick, so I just want to make sure I'm not getting too dark, because this, of course, is maybe a little bit darker or lighter. Too much white. All I gotta do is pick up a little bit of blue and mix it right on there. And that's a lot of paint, and so sometimes it takes a while for it to dry. But I'm going to put a darker right on top of it, so it's not really going to really matter a lot. It will dry fairly quickly. Like this top is already pretty well dry. And you wouldn't have to put it on this thick to begin with. Um, you could put a coat around it and then let it dry a little bit, and then put another coat. But I'm usually not all about that. If I can get it all in one thing, I try to do it, because I'm not into a lot of long projects unless it's a mural or something that I know I'm going to do. And I haven't done those for a while, so that could be why. Some of it, if I see like maybe 2 white strips or something, I'm just sort of going back and touching it just a little bit. Just trying to get all the lines out of it where it looks like it's just pretty consistent all the way around. And up here at the top, I did sort of, every once in a while, I just pick up a little bit of like some darker blue, and instead of going straight across, I sort of chiseled some of it in. Look what I just, some of it I would just sort of chisel in, just to make it look like it was, maybe darker threads or something through the jeans. Okay. Okay, I got the top pretty good. I got one area here I can see I still need. Now, if you actually wanted to, you could go on the inside. I actually am not going to, and I don't know if I'm even going to do I don't think I'm even going to do this bottom all the way. I think I'm just going to go around here. Although whatever's easier for you, if it's easier for you, just here, I'll just go ahead and do it. Let me get out of here. Get my finger out of here. And the best thing to do for that is just to set it down flat and just go right over top of it like this. And of course that's a lot darker. I just need to pick up some light. Okay. And it's that easy. Just want to make sure if you did the sides at all, you just want to come over here and make sure that you even that out where you can. Okay. Okay, it looks like it's pretty good. Every once in a while I'll see some of the orange still, and I'm just going to go through and just barely like brush it again. And I'm not necessarily trying to get all that, as I said, all even, because jean material is just not all one color. It usually has the blues, and sometimes it'll have white threads, and if it's too dark though, I don't like that. Just want to make sure I give it plenty of time to dry. And this is fast drying paint, so I'm just going to leave that there. And while I've got this paint out, while I've got that paint out, I'm going to do my rocks. I've got my rocks. Remember, I showed you how to prepare them as well. Hopefully you can see them. So I got my rocks here. I'm just going to lay my pot to the side for a second. And then I'm going to do my rocks. I'm going to use the same colors. And I did seal these rocks, but I normally have never. Just because, normally I just do them with this kind of paint that I use, and they're not necessarily left outside. But if you wanted to take this and literally leave it outside, I just went ahead and sealed it too. And this gets a little messy here. If you need gloves, which I never have gloves hardly. I did for the glue. I'm just going to flip that over. And again, this doesn't take hardly anything to paint these rocks. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to find my camera. It's hard to do that when I can't see. Normally it shows me my screen on the inside, or like on my my Zoom camera, it would show me that as well, like what I'm seeing on my phone. But for whatever reason, it's not doing it. So I am recording this on my Zoom, but I just don't know if what I'm seeing on Facebook is what's recording on Zoom. because I don't see it, which is nutty. Now, it just says failed, failed, failed camera. So I don't know what that means. So hopefully we're getting it recorded in Facebook, and you guys will still have the recording. Okay, I'm going to get the second one. Try to match them up a little bit. It's a little bit darker maybe. I do that, and then I have to touch it. I just flip it over. And yes, I am a messy painter, so and like I said, if you all need gloves, you can buy the little plastic gloves for, I don't know, probably $5 for 250 of them or something. And okay, I'm going to lay these, I hope y'all see, I'm going to lay these over to the side. Tap it back up here just real little, because where my fingernails went. Okay, now I'm done with this big brush. Hopefully y'all can see me. And I'm going to put it in water, and then I'm going to pick up my flat brush. Okay, and again, this is my 3/4 flat brush. It's not. I'm sorry. This is my number 10 or 12. And so this is pretty well. This is dry enough to where I can do that. And when I painted that, I painted it from the. I started actually from the top. So I wanted to make for sure that this area right here, and I'm looking at it right now, and I'm just going to go back right through here really quick, just on the edge. And you can go all the way down to that crease on the inside of the pot if you would like. I think I did with this, I'm not for sure. Yeah, I did. I went all the way on the inside like that. And I've already got rid of my big brush, so I can just do that though really quick here like this. And I could have done that after I painted the one thing I needed to paint. Sorry, ladies, it seems like I never have my act together when I come in here to you all. I do painting class. I'm not necessarily this bubble-headed all the time. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going in here, and I'm trying to do the inside of that. And what I would suggest, like I said, we sealed this, but if you don't have stuff to seal it with, especially if you don't have like a non-toxic sealer for, and you're planning on using this as like a real live plant, or like herbs or something, you can just paint this with the kind of paint that I suggested, and then you can always buy those little plastic pots to put on the inside of it, to where if you water it or whatever, it's not even going to get wet on the inside. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay. So, I'm gonna get rid of look at my hand. See, y'all? It's like I play in it. And because I'm going fast, because I know I only have like 2 hours to do this, but this was a pretty, probably a pretty quick painting. When I considered the 3 hours for the workshop, that was in case y'all wasn't able to seal the pot before we got in here. I think you'll be able to do this project in 2 hours easily. Now, I paid attention to where the seal is here, where it says it's got like a indentation in there where they basically sealed it. So I made for sure that was like not in the center, sort of like to the side where you can't see it when I did my stripes, okay? So now, because I'm going to go ahead and do my stripes here, I want to do that first. That way I'll know how big my pocket needs to be. Which if I did my pocket, that's no deal. If I did my pocket first, all I have to do is just go and put my stripes, but it's actually sort of like the seams of your jeans. That's what I wanted to make that feel like. So anyway, I'm going to just pick that up, and I'm just going to, I'm trying to, I'd almost like to do it upside down just because I think it might be easier. Although that's not what I've done. I'm just going to do what I did. And again, I want this just a little bit darker than the light blue that I had on my pot. Okay? So, I'm trying to move this around where you all can see. I hope you guys don't hear everything. My ice machine and everything's carrying on. Okay. So I just come over here and I mixed up, as you can see, look, it's a darker paint than what the pot is. And so I'm just going to start, find that place again. I'm just going to tilt that to the top here. And now, if y'all want chalk, like to draw those lines in to where you can see how straight they are, if that would make you feel better to do it that way, by all means do it. But I just did everything by freehand. And but if you need, if it makes you feel better to draw those lines on, I suggest chalk is wonderful. Or even, you could even come here and just come straight down with a straight edge on your paintbrush. Okay? So I'm just going to go for it. And because I know this is about as wide as I want it, I put my little finger here, and I was just guiding that. Actually, this is going to be a lot wider. Probably because it's a full. Let's see. And the ladies who have painted with me for a long time, they know I'm not good at straight lines. So I do what I can do. So I might just turn that around. Get rid of some of this paint. You gotta pay attention to that too. If your paintbrush is really, really loaded, when you like put pressure on it, it's going to make it flare out, so it's going to be a lot wider than what you may want it to be. So I've actually am cleaning that brush, and then I'm going to just reload it. And again, I'm over here, I'm still mixing, and this time I am mixing it a little bit darker than what I had. Okay, just want it a little bit darker. And right here, where I had started that, I may end up putting it around here too. And all I'm doing is I'm just sort of trying to clean that up a little bit. Okay, so that's one line. I don't know if y'all can see it. And again, I'm crooked, but if that's something, like I said, you feel like you need to correct, I just figured these are pair of jeans. They're all usually imperfect, and so I'm just going to start another one about right here. I didn't measure anything, guys. I just painted. And I'm just trying to think of, I did probably about 2 inches and maybe a 1/4 inch. So you figure 2 inches. So my seam, I'm going to put it about right here. The way that light's hitting, it's hard for me to even see it. Then this little curve here is a little bit tricky. I started at the base and then came up and just met that. And then I've got my little pinky like guiding that. It's sort of holding me steady. And it is crooked, but that's that's how I do roll. Unfortunately, that's how I roll, unless I use some kind of a ruler or something. Like I said, jeans are imperfect, and I'm too much dark on that. Okay, so I'm going to say that's the first ones, and I can go, I'm not going to do my back ones yet, just because that way it'll give all that a chance to dry, and I'm just going to go ahead and continue this part right here, and then we'll turn it around and do the back side. So I'm going to mix my pocket, and again, if you notice, my pockets are a little bit darker than the actual pot. I tried to match it as much as I could with these right here. Okay? So I just sort of tried to go like in the middle of the 2 seams And I started probably about an inch down. So I just sort of, again, if you have chalk and it makes you feel better to draw this just a square on, then you can. So, but I'm just going to do what I did here, and I'm just going to sort of outline it and start about probably, I went probably about a 1/4 inch away from the seam. And I'm doing this very lightly. That way, if I do totally like mess it up, then I can always go over and just cover it with paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to just sort of start where this is at. I'm just going to make another line. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. It looks like the captions are on in this, and I hope that that's not showing up in the video for you guys. So, anyway, right here, I'm just going to make it just a little bit longer. Okay. And then again, I know that it's not even. Then I'm just going to come down here, and I'm just really like making a square. And what's crooked, I'll line up when I finish painting. Or try to. Okay. I'm over here. I'm mixing up a darker paint. And again, this little paintbrush, it holds a lot of paint. And so sometimes I'm not going into water, but I'm just taking my finger and a piece of paper towel, and I'm just like mashing that out there. Just folding that paper over and mashing it out to get all the extra paint out. And what I'm going to do to begin with, while that paint is not very thick, I'm just going to go ahead and paint this square. You know, I say it's square, but I think I sort of angled it more so for the pot, but I want it square. So I'm just going to fill this in. With this blue, and as I go, I'm just sort of defining my lines a little bit more, and I went different directions with it. It don't matter. I hope you all can see what I'm doing. When I'm defining that, when I'm trying to draw those lines, I want you to notice how sharp I've got my brush. It's got that sharp chisel edge to be able to draw things. And again, I'm going to just, I can prop my finger on something to help me just keep that brush steady. And I'm just going to ride that edge of that brush. Out as far as I need it to go. We'll flip it and do the same thing. Okay. I'm going to come down here and do the same. Again, just trying to sort of define where that line is. And right here the same. Because I want to make sure that that white shows up really good on that. Okay. Now I'm going to fill this in one more time. Right here, I want it a little bit darker. Okay. Now, I think I'm just, while I've got that color in my brush, I'm going to go right on over here, and I'm going to try to, see, I can see I've got that really crooked, so before I do that, I got the one side higher than the other here. Still do. So this is when it would be good to have chalk. Well, you can get one swipe at it. Me, this is how I roll. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, so I've got this paintbrush already in this color. I'm just going to turn this over, and right here, I've got that. I've got those right there, so I pretty well know I can go straight across here, like right here. Just bring my brush right across, and I know then where I'm going to start this. So it'll be right there. Same way here. It'll be about right here. Like I said, that seal is right there, so we didn't want that up in the middle of this. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do my lines on this one too. And remember, if your brush is really loaded, you don't have to put much pressure on that to get a big wide line. And we don't want it wide, so we want it about the size of the paintbrush itself. And I've got my pinky on this brush, or on this pot, as I come down with this paintbrush. And I'm constantly sort of picking up more paint, but I'm trying not to load it in there very deep either. I just want to make sure that, like especially on the outsides of these. Now I do have that chisel edge. Let me show you what I'm doing. I got that chisel edge. I'm holding my finger here, and I'm just coming down here with that chisel edge, and I'm just trying to get that dark line on the outside of that seam on both sides. That way when I put the white, the little, it looks like the little stitches, they really stand out. Well, my brush just ain't wanting to function. Right up here. I got this one very crooked and very fat. One thing we could do before it dries, I don't know that I showed some ladies I know that have been with me for a long time. But look, I just went into, now I did go into water, but look what I'm going to do. Right here, this was just a little too wide. I'm not pressing down hard at all. It's almost like an eraser. I went into a little bit of water with that brush. Then I'm just going to dry that brush. Look what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go back over here. And I'm going to go around the edges of that again. And it will get rid of all of that extra line that I did not want there. Okay? And then just to sort of straighten it up again, to make a straight line, I'm going to go back down through here. Too much white. Okay. Color that dead. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so I got that side. And here we are again. Here's where we started. I'm actually going to wash that brush out this time. It's really loaded deep. And when it's loaded a lot, it's just going to keep getting fatter and fatter. And then the colors are not going to be consistent. So I'm just washing that out really quick. I'll go back over here where I was at. I'm going to reload that. Again, I've gone darker with the seams than I did with the um, the vase or the pot, and then I did darker pockets as well so that the white will show up. I hope if you ladies do this, you'll enjoy it. You know, you can do this on anything. It didn't have to be a pot. Got too much white in that. Doing that chisel edge, trying to make it line up a little bit. And as I said, the ladies who paint with me know that I don't do straight lines. And I need to quit confessing that over myself. But yeah, I just, I usually just have to keep going over it and sort of correcting myself to get it to look halfway decent. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm not far away from this camera. I'm over here in my own little world. I just get too dark, too light. Definitely got that one a lot darker than this one, so I'm going to go back over this one just a little bit. It's almost like I'm coloring this in now. I've got lines that I can stay in, so I'm just sort of darkening that up just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm not getting more paint. I'm just going to use what paint I've got in this brush. I need that sharp chisel edge just to go and clean up those edges. One more little swipe here. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm just going in here because I've got the lines already. I'm just going in here and sort of coloring that. Just by wiggling that brush and staying inside them lines, I'm just getting a little bit of a darker value in that blue. Okay? And then if anything I want to straighten up, I make sure I get that sharp chisel edge and I just ride that along there and let that do what it's made to do. Okay, so then I need to pretty well go over here and then do my my pocket. And I'm over here mixing up more paint. And I would like to sort of I'm going to touch that and come over here and put my, like I'm touching the corner. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I come over here. I've got big fingers, so you might be able to do that. But I'm basically finding the corner of that, and I'm going to just sort of touch this and know where I'm going to put it. So, yeah. Just to pretty well even it up to the, and remember I went about an inch. I went about an inch from the bottom of the lid of the pot. And then I went probably about a half an inch, which I did not do. It looks like I might have went a little bit tighter on these. I might not be able to get that same size. But Yeah, this looks like it could be a little bit of a littler pocket. And I'm telling you, if you're a perfectionist, then, just learn from me. don't, don't do it exactly the way I do it. If you see that, you think, oh, I wish you would have done that different, then, just take the lesson and do it different, the way that you want it done. Now, this is going to be tighter just because I made the lines more narrow, I think. Yeah, this pocket's going to be a lot smaller. And then I'm probably a good, a little bit over an inch here. Yeah, this pocket's going to be way smaller. I'm just filling that in. Taking that to the top. Like I said, if it's something that, which I don't have to do that, I can add just a little bit of white up here and take it right off. Just a little tiny bit of darker blue right here I want to take off, so. Okay. Yeah, this pocket looks too skinny and a lot closer to the seams. So I'm just now I could actually, if I decided I just absolutely hated that, then I could have painted this side all over again. But I'm not going to do that because for one thing, I'm not a perfectionist. Of course I want it to look nice. But when you look at one side of the pot, you're not going to see the other side. So no one's going to even know that unless you tell them, look, it looks all different and lopsided on this one. But if it bothers you when you do stuff like that, I couldn't tell you how many times I've repainted whole things and started all over again. So there's nothing wrong with that. Unless it just hinders you and you don't ever get it done at all. I had a coach one time, his philosophy is done is better than none. So, you can do as many projects as you want but yet never get anything done because you're just trying to make it all perfect. And if you look at a pair of jeans, you'll see there's all kinds of imperfections in them. The jean material on some of it, like on some of the pockets, are even darker than the other pocket. So, okay. We'll go with that. Okay. So, Now what I did, I went on the inside of this too. And I'm going to clean that brush this time because I got a lot of paint in it. Okay, so right on the inside, I'm going to do like another little square, and hopefully have that. Now, if this big old brush is too much for you on that, I do have. Let me show you. This is one of my favorite script liners. You can see I've used it a lot. And so you can always, if you notice it's got like a little tiny brush, you could always come over here and do that with this brush. You can hold this like a pencil and just do that. But most of you may not have that, and so I'm showing you that you're just going to go in here the same way you did the original pocket. You're just going to come in here and you're going to do the inside of this pocket. Did you not? Time's getting away. Go ahead and do this one. I've got it. Yes, this pocket's much bigger than the one on the other side. A lot wider. But, like I said, no one would know that unless I told them, or unless they really picked it up and inspected it good. I'm just making a little, the best square I can, and then I'll sort of, when I put the white on there, okay, I got that too far in there. Okay, what I'm doing is I got that way over too far, and so I am correcting that. Okay, now with the script liner I was talking about, I did do the little lines, but before oh yeah, I need to put them on first. We need to put the lines on first, or like the little seams, before we put our daisies on, okay? And what I did is I just went over here, let me show you. With the script liner, we usually always go into water, depending on how thick your paint is, and this is pretty thick. But because I know I'm just making little dabs and lines with it, I'm just coming over here into the paint, and I'm rolling that paintbrush. Now, my paintbrush was wet. I did not take that water out of that paintbrush, okay? And so basically, I'm going to start on the pocket first. And I'm just going to, well, I'm going to start on the other one because I just did that one. So that one will be very wet still. But I'll just do one side. I'm going to go ahead and do this pocket. And I just started just on one side, and I just made like little dashes. That's all I did. Now, with the script liner, the more pressure you put on there, then the fatter that's going to be, okay? So you just, it's a easy little touch. I'm crooked. And the girls, I will tell you this. It seems like my first project that I paint is always the best. And I think it's just where God gives you that creativity. And, you know, you just make this one here. It looks like it's definitely off. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here, just, that's what I said, it's almost like I think I'm here all by myself, but I'm just barely touching that. See, I got too fat on that one. I'll clean that up. Just barely touching it. Same here. Just to make it look like it's little seams. Go right in the center. Okay, so that's what the first one looks like. I hope you can see it. You know, even in the fall, you could do this and paint like sunflowers on it, just because, you know, a lot of the scarecrows and stuff they put out always has blue jeans on and straw hats, and you could draw some straw and put some sunflowers in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this while I'm on this side. And this is easy. You just, I don't line it up. Maybe you all want to. It's a light touch, though. If I get too fat, I know I've just put a lot of pressure on there. So the more pressure you put on a brush, the fatter your stroke is. Or the wider your stroke is, I should say. And can you all see what I'm doing? Okay. This one. Man, I'm losing it. Getting far behind here. So I did need 3 hours. I made that messy. Yep, I did. I made that one messy. Because we haven't even done the rocks yet. I should have done the stripes on them while I was doing the... When I done the rocks, I was going to paint rocks, but I wasn't necessarily going to paint them to match a pot. I was just going to paint some rocks because I do that. And then I thought that would be cute to do it with the pot and match it. Be a sweet little gift for somebody. Especially if they garden or they're into flowers. They would be cute little paperweights to sit on a desk, and this could be like a pencil holder or something. Okay. Now, I'm going to let them dry, and I'm actually going to sort of hold this up on its edge so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm coming around here and doing the same thing. Okay, just going right around. And I'm getting way too much paint in my brush, because we want that to be able to dry quick, and if you put too much paint on there, it's not going to do that for you to do your daisies and stuff in there. I know this is also going into Memorial Day weekend. Some of them may be on vacation and are not into Facebook right now. I understand that. But hopefully you'll get the replay. Or I'm going to, hopefully, if this is recording, I don't know whether it is on my Zoom or not. It's supposed to be, but it's not recording my screen on Zoom. So I'm sure it's only recording the actual video, the lesson on Facebook. And as you all know, Facebook makes me take my videos down, or they delete them. So when they do that, when I take them down, I put them up on Facebook. Oh, I'm sorry, on YouTube. So in case y'all don't know, any new ones, I have a YouTube channel that's got all of the Technique Tuesdays. Well, they don't, because I haven't uploaded them all, but they got a lot of the Technique Tuesdays that I've done. They've got all the free classes that I've done, and then there's a private YouTube channel for those who've actually paid for the lessons. They get all of the replays and everything, and so they have all of their videos in one place where they can go in there and watch them. So I would love if you all would go in there and subscribe, and just if you like something. I've got more in there. I've got some what am I trying to say? I've got some just little shorts in there that I've done with flowers and birds and just, you know, some inspiration. My son's out there. I hear him. I hope you all don't. But he's out there either sawing or drilling or something. I'm almost done, and then we'll get to the flowers. Whoops, I just messed up. Touched where I shouldn't have. So we're just doing the little dashes. That's all we're doing to make the lines. Make it look like... I've never been a sewer. My mom made beautiful quilts. She sewed. She made clothes. That was never a gift I ever received. Probably because I can't do straight lines. I'm sure that was why. I tried to make a quilt one time. It looked like a triangle. No, that ain't gonna work. Okay. While that's drying real quick, I'm gonna do the same thing here with my little lines. I wish I would have done it to begin with. Remember, they have to be darker. And I'm just gonna... What did I do here? I didn't put no pockets on these. I just put some lines, or like seams. Go all the way around. Okay. Let's go on the back side here. I'm over here all in my little world. I'm not showing y'all. I'm so sorry. I keep dragging this in here closer to me so that I can do it. And the way I've had to set this camera up today, it's not been the best thing. I'm sorry if y'all can't see everything I'm doing. That's not good, because I got to get a daisy in there. In between that, look here. I am going to wipe that totally off. If you can get it while it's wet. A little brush again. Okay. I'm back over here again, and I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave that. And because that's wet, I'm not sure. Do this one as well. We're drawing those lines so that we can. Okay. Make sure I put that little seam on there. Okay, I'm going to let them dry. Now comes the fun part. What I'm going to do, I wish I would have got it darker. I need something where y'all can see what I'm doing. I need just some black construction paper or something to where y'all could really see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can do something. Why didn't I do that? Okay, I'm going to let that sit right there for a second. While you guys are busy doing that, I'm going to try to get something real quick. Okay. I'm sorry, I just had to leave and get something so y'all could see something. Okay. I'm just going to put this brown paper here so y'all can see it. Right here. Now, I'm going to use that same little brush that I was using, my little flat brush. And hopefully you guys can see this really good. And I cleaned that brush. Now, I've got white, I've got yellow, and I've got green. So, I am going to go straight into the white. And I'm going to just really get that white deep in there, in that brush. Okay? Now, we're going to make our little flowers. Hopefully y'all can see that. And leave it sit there. Okay? So, basically, to make a petal, now, I know daisies usually have longer, skinnier petals, but I called this daisy. And so I've got that flat chisel edge. And what we're going to do is you're going to take that flat chisel edge, you're going to stand that brush up, and we'll try to go off to the side a little bit where you can see. And then when you stand it up, you're going to just put pressure on it, and you're going to raise it up and bring it right back on itself. Okay? I'm on paper, so it takes quite a bit. I'm going to go right out here to the side. I'm putting pressure, standing it up. It's almost like I'm just barely, it's not a whole lot of pressure. So maybe one more right there. That's it. That's all you got to do. Stand it up, put pressure, and then bring it back around. Stand it up, put pressure, and then basically as you're twisting a little bit, you're just standing that brush right back up. Okay? Pressure, and you're twisting it, you're bringing it right back up. Pressure, twisting it, bringing it right back up on itself. If they get too skinny on you, you just go back over it. Okay? It's that easy. And then look, all I done is I just took the tip of my brush and I just went right like this with the yellow, and I cleaned it really good. I'm going to clean my brush really good. I got some green here. So on the green, I went yellow. Look, I tipped yellow and just a little bit of green. More green, of course, than yellow. And I just got that into my brush. I got my yellow to the outside. I'm really loading that in there. Okay, notice I got that flat chisel edge again. So then I come right out here beside these flowers, and I'm doing the same thing. Well, I'm not really. I'm putting pressure on there, and then I just move it slightly, and then stand it up. Pressure, move it slightly, and then stand it up. Pressure, move it slightly, and just stand it up on this edge. Okay? Pressure, move it up, stand it up. Pressure, move it up, stand it up. Pressure, move it up, stand it up. Okay? And you just want to make sure I put my stems in there. And I just make for sure that they're in there. Okay? Now, that's what we're going to do right here. So I'm going to clean that brush again because I want my flowers good and white. I actually needed to change my water because I got so much blue in it. Okay. So I got my white here. And because my palette is such a mess, I'm going to use a clean plate because I want to make for sure that, I got good white. All that should be pretty much dry by now. Right there. I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to make sure I got plenty of white in that brush. Okay. Now, I did one right here in the corner. And again, it's pressure, stand it up, and just bring it right back up on itself. Pressure, stand it up, bring it on itself. Pressure, bring it up, bring it on, bring it up by itself. Pressure, bring it up. Pressure, bring it up. Pressure, bring it up. I might put one more on there. Okay, Don't really like that one because it doesn't make it just a little bit longer. This one here too. Okay. So what I like to do, I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. Okay. So I went right beside it and sort of, I tried to angle them just a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to just go down just a little bit because I started it up here on this. Again, I hope y'all can see. Let's see where. Pressure, maybe I don't like that one there. If it doesn't make a full petal, and I don't like how I did this one because I didn't separate the petals, and I prefer to do that, like not necessarily let them touch. That was a big petal there. Let me see. One petal right here, I think. Oops. Around. Yeah, I have a leaf there. Separate this one again. Okay. Before I go into water, I'll try to go ahead and do this other side. Although it might make it nasty to do it that way, so, but I can. Well, I've got this loaded before I go into it. I'm just going to go ahead and do my little stitches on my rocks real quick while this has a chance to dry a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I got that white in there. I'm just barely touching him with the corner of that brush. What time is it? Oh gosh. Right around here. I could have just went all the way around, probably. Probably been a lot easier. Okay. I'm going to hold these by the corner here. Again, this, I've got wax paper down, and because of that, like when I lay this down, it's not going to stick. So I'm just putting, I keep getting out of the view of the camera, I'm sure. That around. Okay. It's too nasty. Okay. So, I only painted one little flower on these rocks. I'm going to go ahead and get them done. So, again, pressure, let it stand up, pressure, let it stand up, pressure, let it stand up. Pressure, let it stand up. Pressure, let it stand up. I think I just picked up some blue, which I might have here. So pressure, let it stand up. pressure, 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 and pressure. Okay? So, okay, on these, I'm going to go ahead and do the leaves. I went into, remember I went into, I'm sorry, I went into, hold on just, I got yellow first and then green. What does that make? That makes blue. I don't want blue leaves. So, let me clean that brush. I got a mess over here, don't I? So, I washed that brush out. Make sure that's got that sharp chisel edge to begin with. That's good and dry. I'm going into yellow. Just tip that corner in yellow. And then tip it in green. And then come over here to keep them straight. Or like the yellow, yellow and the green, green. You just keep that brush straight, but you're putting a lot of pressure on that to get that paint inside that brush. Okay? Now, I'm going to go right on over here, and I made one leaf right here. I made, again, this is, let me show you how to do it. I put a lot of pressure on it, I stand that up, and then I pull at the same time as I'm standing it up. Excuse me. So, pressure, pull, stand it up. And I like mine, like I really like those pretty dark, but so pressure, pull, stand it up. Excuse me, I don't know what my deal is all of a sudden. Pressure, pull, stand it up. Where did I put that? Pressure, pull, stand it up. And then I had one over here. Pressure, pull, stand it up. And look, I like to put my stems in there where I can. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip down in that yellow. I'm going to put my center. Okay. And what I did, because I wanted just a little bit of like gaps in between those, is that I should have done it while it was wet. It would be so much easier. Let me see if I can do it. No. Okay. So, basically, I might have to just go over here, and I'm just going to barely tap into some blue. And I prefer it to be the light blue. Just a little bit of white and like make it a light blue. But in between these petals, I do want a little bit of definition. I shouldn't ever like went on top of each other. I usually try to keep them a little bit separated. Well, let me see. Okay. Don't want it dark, dark, but I just want it just a little defined here, not that much. Just to sort of define it good. And that one there really needs to be a little bit darker white. Just because you can see my stitches. And I don't want you to see my stitches. So basically I'm just going to paint that over again. This one right here. Just go right over here and go right back around it. Tip some of that yellow. Okay. I really think that's what it was. It looks like it was just like I got yellow on that brush. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but I just didn't like how that looked. Okay. Just gonna give these a quick one too. Just that you could see right through it. That now, let me find my one little brush real quick. What did I do with it? Oh, what did I do with my script bar? Right there it is, right in front of my face. Now here, look, I'm gonna get this off of there. Or not. I might not. I sort of like it. I sort of like that. I might actually just make a little bit more on each side of them. Sort of makes it look like it's okay. So that's 2 on that side, and then of course we will put 2 on this side. I miss it, girls. I'm telling you. I said 3 o'clock. It's gonna be a little bit later. Just a little bit. Okay, so here we are. We're doing 1, 2. This time I'm going to separate them a little bit. 3, 4. Fix that one. Okay. A lot of paint going on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like it either has to be really, has to have enough on there, or it's not going to stick. But I want that to cover up that stitch. So this one here too. Okay. I'll let that dry really quick. And while that's doing that, okay, I did those. Okay. Okay. I'll clean that off. And I'm going to get my leaves on here. Remember, yellow and green. Yellow, green and yellow. I didn't put my center in there either. I will. What did I do? Yeah, I did on Okay, I'm going to stem. I did one here. One here. And one here. Let's put kind of a little bit more green, just a darker green on the tip of that brush, just a little bit more green to make a stem in there. I want the stems to show, and they're not doing it for some reason. Okay, now, one thing I did do is I'm going to take this script liner and I'm going to go into just a little bit of green. Now, I did go into water with that script liner this time. Let me see. I hope you can see. Stand out here. I'm going into that script liner. With the script liner, I get water. And I'm making just a little inky puddle. And I'm bringing this over here. Now, around this center of this, I just barely went around. And I touched green into that. Okay? On both sides. Actually, I didn't even put my center in here. Okay, while that dries just the slightest little bit, I'm going to go over here to my rocks. Do the same thing. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing, huh? Putting my center on there. I'll come right here. I didn't put my leaves on these rocks either. Go right here. Yeah, it's better if that's dry before you go to try to do this. And it's not, so yeah, it's making a mess, so don't want that to do that. Better to dry than to do that on this I'll let that dry. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and put my leaf on these rocks. Okay. Try this one more time. Needs to be just a little tiny bit, actually. There. Doesn't want to behave. Okay, there we go. Make sure I did everything I did on this one. I know what I did. Look, I didn't do the pockets on this one, on the back side. But I did on these, so. Because y'all got choice now. If you've not painted it, you can actually do just one pocket. That's all I did on that one, the original one. So, yay, we did get it done. Now, you know, I always encourage you to try to sign your painting. Even on this, if you have to. I got a mess. Then do it on the bottom. There's nothing else. Just something. You could do that, maybe even the date on it. And it just makes it, especially if you're giving it as a gift. I mean, how sweet is that? I'll do mine with green. And look, all I do, I got that script liner. I've got that rolled out. And I got that wet. And I'm rolling it out to get that sharp edge on it. And look here, I'm just going to put my initial. And I could put 2026. That's all you got to do. And it's sort of creased in there, so it's not going to come off. So, I hope you ladies will get this done. I want to see, please, 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 share your work if you do this. Or if this was something that you weren't interested in. You know, I don't mind ideas. If there's something you all want to paint, if I can paint it, I'll try my best to do some of it. But if I don't get any suggestions, then I'm sort of left here to come up with stuff on my own. And so, yeah, I mean, it would be nice if you guys would just come up with some ideas that you would like to see. But, you know, I'm learning too. So I always say that, you know, if you come up with something and if I feel like I can paint it, I will definitely do my best. But if I don't know how to paint it, I'll let you know. I don't know how to do that. I don't know whether I can do that or not. So I'm going to shut this recording off.
Recording stopped.
Okay, and so I'm still recording on Facebook. So I absolutely love you ladies. I thank you. I hate that it's not going to let me share my other camera. Let me see if it'll let me now. No, it's not going to let me, so no. So I love you ladies. I will catch you later. Have a blessed Memorial Day weekend. Bye-bye.